in our developing story, 8 people have been killed and almost 2,750 wounded, 200 of them critically by simultaneous detonations of pages across Lebanon. Now, that's according to the country's Health Minister Firass Abiad. Now, Iran's ambassador to the country, Mojtaba Amani, has been slightly injured by one of the exploding devices. Now, a Hezbollah official speaking anonymously called the detonation of the pages the biggest security breach the group has suffered in nearly a year of war with Israel. Hezbollah is a powerful Lebanese movement backed by Iran and a sworn enemy of Israel. And we stay with this particular story. As you can see live visuals there on your screen, we do have in studio with us SABC News International editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, certainly this is a huge story. There's implications for what is happening. Let's talk about this.
Well, clearly there is a situation where you will find that in the Middle East, as we speak, there's tension, because the question is Hezbollah going to retaliate? We saw a few weeks ago, a month ago, when there was a similar attack in relation to leadership of Hezbollah and also the leadership of Hamas when they were in Iran at the inauguration of the president of Iran. We expected Hezbollah and Iran to retaliate, but they didn't. It was just a small action just to send a message that they have the capability. And the whole world had to ask both Hezbollah and also Iran to hold back. But now the question is Hezbollah going to hold back? Is Iran going to hold back? Much as the diplomat is not seriously injured. But the reality is when you attack a diplomat, you are actually attacking a country. And as we speak, I'm sure in the Middle East right now there is tension.
And of course, you know, you listen to the Treasurer General of the ANC, and she says that it's important for there to be peace, and they are looking forward to long-lasting peace. But all of this is taking place just weeks before, you know, the anniversary of that attack on October 7th. And certainly a lot of focus is now going to shift towards the story to see what happens now.
You are correct. We are looking ahead to the one-year commemoration of that incident where some citizens, most of them Israelis, and some were Americans, Europeans, were killed in the Middle East in those settlements. And therefore, you expect that there will be tension ahead of the one-year commemoration of that event. And now with this, you find a situation now that there's going to be even more tension, not only in that area or between Hezbollah and Hamas and Israel, but now you have Hezbollah and Iran and of course the neighboring countries. And we know that today and tomorrow the United Nations, as the TG of the ANC has indicated, is also again discussing the issue of Palestine, looking at that case that was brought forward by South Africa. And also we have a situation where South Africa has indicated that it is preparing its submission in terms of giving evidence and presenting proof that what they are alleging, that the Israeli government and defense force and the generals are committing genocide, is based on those facts and ready to present those facts. So you have these issues around the Middle East, and we count in 3 weeks to 7th October, and I think the tension in the Middle East is going to escalate. I'm sure Israel right now is trying to strengthen its security.
And we even heard, as you and I were also in conversation last week, talking about the fact that there are also some countries who are now speaking to South Africa to try and say that don't continue with this particular matter and don't take it further. Let's just try and see what happens. But certainly South Africa doesn't seem seem to be budging.
South Africa is not budging. South Africa is not going to drop this case. In fact, you now have many countries in the South, the developing South, who have joined the case, and therefore it's all systems go. And as the presidency indicated last week, the legal team and the support system and those countries that are sympathetic to Palestine in the Middle East are currently giving South Africa evidence, and therefore there's no going back. There's no turning back, and I think very soon we'll hear from the International Court of Justice. When will this matter be ventilated in the chambers? But secondly, we are still waiting for the International Criminal Court to also make a pronouncement. You know that the chief prosecutor has requested that the court must give a go-ahead in terms of issuing warrants of arrest for the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, the generals, including Hamas leaders. But in relation to what transpired today, there hasn't been anyone or organization that has taken responsibility, and therefore we'll wait and see finally perhaps what happened. But clearly this was a coordinated action because using those communication devices all over Lebanon, and to those people who had these communication devices were mainly the Hezbollah members, and therefore clearly it was an attack on the Hezbollah. And of course, when you attack a particular target, also you have ordinary people who become casualties, because some of these members of Hezbollah, they were in a mall when that happened, and clearly people around them were injured.
International news editor Sophie Mokoena there. Certainly, as you say, weeks shy away of that, 7th of October attack, that anniversary. This is a worrying development when it comes to what is taking place in Lebanon. And if we do then have those live visuals as we end off our conversation there with Sophie. Thank you so much, Sophie, for your time. I mean, you think about the fact that right now as chaos is ensuing there in Lebanon, health officials are being asked to return to work as soon as possible, given the number of the injuries that, of course, have been sustained by a number of people as far as this particular incident is concerned. So certainly these are live visuals there, and we'll continue to bring you live visuals there from Beirut.